developing our solutions using our voices. Central Arkansas, surrounding areas, and the nation. Get ready. Black Focus starts right now. Phone lines open at 855-5283. So here's your host, David W. Coleman and Robert Webb. Hey, what's happening? Welcome to the Monday edition. Man, this year is just flying around. I'm just,
it is flown.
Man, this is crazy. It's already almost the end of October. You know what? When I was like before the 12th grade, it just seemed like time just crept by. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it went very fast.
And then I'll tell you when it really picked up pace for me. After I turned 25. I don't know why, but once I turned 25, it seemed to like, pew! It's just going now. It's crazy. I don't know why that is, but it's really weird. It really is.
You know, when you're in school, it seems like it's forever when you're staying at home. You know, when
Yeah.
you're at home, it seems like it's just forever.
Yeah.
You know, it takes 5 years for 1 year to pass by.
Yeah.
It goes pretty quick though. Do you get that? Is true. I don't know why, but it does speed up.
Yeah, it's just weird, man. I'll tell you. That's why I tell young people when I go out and speak to them, I say, hey, y'all all running around trying to get in, be grown too early.
Yeah,
You better enjoy it. There's nothing like being able to walk into the kitchen of your mama and daddy's house and open that refrigerator and get whatever you want out of it, as opposed to when you get grown walking to the refrigerator and if you're lucky, you might see something in there that's edible. You know what I'm saying? you got a water pitcher and of cold water, and you might have some leftover pizza or something like that.
Just maybe.
And you gotta go for it, So
Just maybe.
I tell young people all the time, I'm telling you, don't be rushing trying to be a grown person, because it's gonna come back to haunt you. I'm gonna tell you, just enjoy yourselves while you can, and everything else will be all right. There's a song about it. I wrote about it. Want to hear it? Here it goes. Robert Kaiser, hey, thanks for joining us today. Tough loss on Friday night. You're right, for the Central Tigers. They're still a young team, I will tell you. Coach and I talked about this a lot. You can always tell a team that has arrived because they'll be high. In other words, they'll play up to standard every night. They may be down here or there, but they'll always be able to come back to that standard. Whereas those teams that are still learning to win, they're up to the standard, then they're below standard. They're up to the standard, they're below standard. Or there might be 2 or 3 guys playing at standard and the others are not. That's the difference in a winning team and a team that isn't winning. And a lot of that has to do with them just being young. We've talked about it a lot. The Tigers, they are a young team. The majority of their starters, believe it or not, are juniors. If you didn't know that, so they're gonna be okay. They're gonna be okay. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today. Of course, the weekend was here. Robert, how was your weekend, by the way?
It was the weekend, baby.
Did you do anything particular?
Nah, nothing particular.
Did you do anything like exciting?
Nah, I'm not a very exciting guy.
Yeah, apparently not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I can't complain. I slept the whole weekend. That's the first time I did that in a while.
Well, that's what old people do. Old people sleep. Old people and babies, they sleep.
Okay. All right. Next weekend, I won't be sleeping. I'll be down in Hot Springs, out in the woods.
Be doing your weekend of deliverance.
Yes, we will.
Okay.
So we'll be having some fun. Of course, fishing and doing a lot of other stuff as well next weekend. So next Friday we will not have. Well, we have a recast of one of our shows. I don't know which one. I'll pick one. So we'll have that next Friday. Saturday there will not be a weekly sports magazine as well. Won't get back until late Sunday afternoon.
Are you serious?
Hey, I'm sorry. Well,
what am I gonna do for sports on Saturday morning?
Well, some of y'all will say, well, at least he won't be dogging the Razorbacks. Yeah. I told y'all had a high school coach.
You can't dog them, man. You can't dog them.
They are pretty bad. No ifs, ands, or buts about that.
They are. Maybe they'll get better.
When?
I don't know, but maybe they'll get better. Everything got to get better, man. You can't suck forever. You know that, right? You do know that, right?
It's going on 2 years since they've had a SEC win. And when you can't beat a team that's starting a wide receiver at quarterback,
and you know he's gonna run every down.
You got a problem.
All right, I'm not making fun of my Razorback.
You got a problem. I'm just
sorry,
saying.
I'm your Razorback.
Yeah, I'm just saying. 855-525-5683 is the number. Here's the tease for the day, and then we're going to jump into some Black Facts. Today on Black Focus Radio, of course, you know what that is. We recap the weekend as we do every Monday. If you're telling our people not to vote, what is your plan? If you don't have one, go sit your ass down somewhere.
Really, Dad?
Yes, I did. That's for you, Robert. Stop listening to rappers who have no historical discernment when it comes to our people. So you don't want any slave movies made any longer, right? So we should forget about Nat Turner, Harriet Tubman, Fredrick Douglass, Benjamin Banneker, and the rest of our great black heroes during that time period.
Who said that? Who said it? Okay, we'll talk.
We'll talk about that here in a moment. So that's what's on the agenda as well. We're also going to look at the statistics Russ Raycott put out over the weekend about the number of cops who don't live in Little Rock. You know, if you don't live in Little Rock and you come into Little Rock to make money and then you go home and your only excuse is, and your job is to prevent crime, but your excuse for not living in Little Rock is it's too much crime.
Kind of oxymoronic.
Yeah, that's oxymoronic to say the least. So we'll get into that today as well. So that's what's on the agenda today. We got Black Facts coming up today. I'm gonna give you 2 Black Facts, and I've played speech once before. It's called What They Never Taught You in History Class, but because it's kind of short, I want to go ahead and play this one as well. And I've said this over and over again. Black Indians were already here. You all get that, right? Black Indians were already here. So let's go ahead and jump into Black Facts right here on joynetradio.com.
Dynamic Black Facts.
Jolly day.
Our history.
What's up, Dad?
Hey man, what's up?
Nice to meet you.
How you
bro.
doing?
LRPD's finest. Ex-LRPD's finest.
Which one is mine?
Whichever one you want to use.
Happy Black History Month, everybody. And this month we will be talking about the neglected topics of our beautiful history. Today's topic, we will be talking about the American Aborigines. There were tribes that were already here. And unfortunately, most people still believe that all blacks came from the ships from Africa. So let's talk about some of those statistics. According to PBS.org, only 12.5 million Africans were kidnapped from Africa, but only 10.7 million actually survived. And of that 10.7 million, 388,000 came to North America. And the rest were distributed to South America and the Caribbean. But the first people that were here were the American Aborigines. According to indigenousandamericans.com, the American Aborigines owned 1 million square miles worth of land in the Louisiana Territory, southeastern region of Florida, and the colony of California. In many areas of America, black nations existed way before Christopher Columbus even arrived. Those lands were rightfully the American Aborigines before they were stolen
Speech.
and given.
Remember
to the white
Speech?
settlers.
Yeah.
The American Aborigines that were stripped from their land were
I checked
dumped
it out.
in
It's pretty
Oklahoma.
good. They put out 3 yet.
And one of the
Not
most
yet.
historic
Pretty good.
and sad tragedies was called the Trail of Tears. 40 to 90 Indians were placed there. The point is that the American Aborigines were here, and they were here first. Don't forget to follow Dane Calloway on his YouTube videos on his outstanding and immaculate African American history. If you have any African American history ideas or episodes, questions, or concerns, don't forget to email me at debbie@avistaproducts.com.
Worldview justifying, promoting, and normalizing criminal behavior, which reaffirms the 400-year marketing campaign waged against black people since the beginning of slavery. And through stereotypes, it continues to separate brown and black people from the world by glorifying behaviors that can lead them to prison or competitively marginalized. This is the nigger factory.
Public enemy.
successful hip-hop groups of all time. Chuck is consistent.
You didn't tell him about the show?
You know, listen, he
Oh,
knows.
okay. We don't play on here, bro.
You know.
Get time on their side and get a couple of generations who are really combative about it to get old and pass on and trick the new generations and throw toys at them to hold them off. And one of the biggest crimes is the MTV networks and the Booty and Thug network of BET that's hijacked hip hop and rap music. And their whole games is to extend teenage years to 35. And this has been the principle since 1990. Let's turn teenagers from 17 to 35. And when they wake up out of the fog at 36 years old, they feel that, you know, with 3 or 4 kids, they're paralyzed to move left or right. And so they got to go with the flow.
Historical facts show some things were created by racists centuries ago to redefine black people. And a lot of it, as they say in marketing, has been sticky. Meanwhile, other things that have purposely been created to redefine blacks positively don't stick. But why?
One of the greatest propaganda campaigns of all time was the masterful marketing of the myth of black inferiority to justify slavery within a democracy. Ingenious. Tom Burrell, marketing veteran.
When Thomas Jefferson wrote the Declaration of Independence, announcing the self-evident truth that all men are created equal, at that very time of writing that, he owned some 175 slaves. That's how contradictory race relations started.
He didn't think blacks were very intelligent either. As he put it, quote, their existence appears to participate more of sensation than reflection.
This pop culture image of blacks as lower than, beast or brutes, sluts, unable to think in higher vibrations and intelligence, justified the racial inequalities that people saw, not only in white people though, but also in blacks, and every other race that were brainwashed by the factory, also from Jefferson.
He wanted blacks deported and separated from whites so that they would be, and I quote, beyond the reach of mixture, the American Colonization Society. At the inaugural meeting of the society, Henry Clay explained its purpose, quote, to rid our country of a useless and pernicious, if not dangerous, portion of the population. Some of the most famous early Americans were not just members of the Colonization Society, they were officers. Besides Madison, there were Andrew Jackson, Daniel Webster, Stephen Douglas, William Seward, Francis Scott Key, Winfield Scott, and John Marshall.
These names were high-ranking officials in the United States. My brother went to John Marshall High School. There's likely street names with these names on it in your town. From scientists to presidents, to lay people of all races, the true humanity of black people were consistently challenged, subhuman, a fraction of a human being.
But Abraham Lincoln, the great emancipator, didn't he believe in racial equality? No. During the Lincoln-Douglas debates, he said this, I am not, nor ever have been, in favor of making voters or jurors out of Negroes. There is a physical difference between the white and black races which I believe will forever forbid the two races living together on terms of social and political equality.
Keep listening to Black Focus Radio for more dynamic black facts, our culture, our history, our people on JourneyRadio.com.
All right, and if you want to sponsor Dynamic Black Facts, and by the way, go out and check out that piece by Speech. It's a lot longer than the 5 minutes that I played. You really, and I'll be honest, it's called The Nigger Factory. Go check it out because it certainly has some historical significance. It talks about the founding fathers. Some of you all may not have been aware of, that's why I tell people when you hear white folks say Lincoln freed the slaves, just say 3 words. That's a damn lie. He didn't give a damn about the slaves. Okay? That's pretty clear on that.
All about them greenbacks.
That's exactly. None of them cared about the slaves. The irony is, as he said, as they wrote the Declaration of Independence, Jefferson had 175 slaves, and he was raping little girls in his back rooms. Let's be real about this, folks. If we don't start teaching our history, that's why I wrote that earlier. Some of you out there are claiming that you don't want to see more slave movies. I saw a video over the weekend with Tyrese. I've heard some other rappers say it. Well, unfortunately, that is part of our history. And their justification is that they want to start seeing stories about Mansa Musa. So would I, and that movie is in the making. They want to see stories about Hannibal, some of the great Egyptian and sub-Saharan kings and queens. I would love the Hannibal, Queen Candace, the money warriors, those famous women warriors. All of those things are valid. But here's the thing, brothers. You got a brother now who owns his own movie studio. Okay? You got a brother. Y'all have plenty of money, Tyrese and all you brothers out there, to make those movies. But you cannot talk about our history without including people like Harriet Tubman. In fact, that movie starts next month. I can't wait to see it. You cannot talk about our history without talking about Benjamin Banneker. You cannot talk about our history without talking about Fredrick Douglas. You know, Crispus Attucks, the first man, although black, to be killed in the American Civil War. You cannot talk about history of America and exclude slavery, because what you don't understand is the fact that there were some great heroes who came out of slavery. Denmark Vesey, who was the founding member of the AME Church, the same church, Mother Emanuel, that had 9 black people slaughtered in it a couple of years ago. See, that's history, all right? And it offends me that you get people who are rappers who have no historical discernment whatsoever and just throw out crazy terminology or crazy movements without no basis in fact whatsoever. That's all I'm saying, all right? 855. That's why I do these black facts every day. You know, I posted a picture over the weekend of white men standing around a black man hanging on a pole. They had just castrated him and hung him. And they had the wooden casket down below his body. Are we going to forget about that too? Every part of the black experience is our history. Yeah, it hurts. When I watch some of those movies, I cry.
No, you don't.
Okay? I cry out of anger.
Oh, okay.
Not tears of joy, not tears of sorrow. I cry out of anger because it is up to us to tell our story. My one and only mentor in my life is a woman. Her name is Dr. Rosie Milligan, which I'll be seeing her in March. She has what is called Black Writers on Tour. And the whole purpose of her putting together Black Writers on Tour in Los Angeles is to make sure, and her theme is, who will tell our story? Okay? Who will tell our story? So you all would prefer to see gang movies. Y'all would rather see drug dealers and getting rich and getting paid as opposed to stuff that is historical. Is that what I understand? That makes no damn sense at all. Because that's the lie that's being told. That's the lie that's telling us that only thing that our kids can do to get out of the ghetto is play sports or sell drugs. And I'm going to tell you like this. That's a damn lie. I've told y'all over and over again, stop listening to these rappers, open a book and learn your own history, and you'll be pleasantly surprised. 855-525-5683 is the number. Let me get off my soapbox. I'm already on it early today.
Yeah, man, they can't hold no more players. You're a little too heavy for that box.
I'm sorry, man. You know, I'm tired of this stupidity, man. I'm feeling good. I'm purged. You know, I'm getting ready to go down in the woods next week and, you know, get back to nature. Yeah, you're going to get delivered. You walk up on me when I put that 40 cal on you.
You like some pig,
yeah.
boy?
Yeah. Do you like some lead, boy? Pow! So come on out and mess with the black man. It's going to be like 15 of us. And we toting weight. I'm just saying. So anyway, we ain't playing. I have to tell you the story when I was a Boy Scout where some white boys tried to run us off some property back in the day. And they got a pleasant surprise. That was the first time I had to lead some Cub Scouts out of, you know where that monastery is? If you go straight out Arch Street, there's a lake.
Yeah.
I was an avid Boy Scout growing up. And I mean, I went to show you how avid I was. I went to Cimarron, New Mexico to camp at Field Month. That's the ultimate scouting adventure, where they take you up in the mountains, and you have to hike back with nothing but with a backpack and a compass, and you eat off the land. Basically, you fish. You know, you trap. You go to supply places and stuff like that. So I was an ultimate Boy Scout camper. That's why I love camping. So we took some kids every weekend. We take some Cub Scouts to various camps to give them the experience of camping. So we took a group down there that weekend, and we had the local rednecks running their hunting dogs through our camp, you know, shooting over the camp and stuff like that. What they didn't know is that our scout leaders, they had shotguns and 38s, and we came strapped too. And then we had pump BB guns. So man, we were ready. So we ultimately had, in the middle of the night, we had to get those kids up. It had to be 2 o'clock in the morning and walk through this back passage by the side of that lake and go into the monastery and call their parents to come pick them up. But them white boys learned a lesson, because we weren't going to be played with that day.
Y'all squeal like a pig.
Yeah, they thought so.
He said you should
Hey.
all got pretty mad. Squeal like a pig.
When Mr. Dotson let go of that double barrel shotgun, boom, boom.
Ain't nobody hand that play.
Hey, they did. All of a sudden, it got real quiet. Because they thought we were just little black folks just having a good time, you know. They didn't know we came strapped, you know. And I had to lead them out with a rifle. And Mr. Dotson was leading. Boy, I wasn't playing.
It did not matter.
14 years old, I wasn't playing. I'm 58 now. I ain't playing.
It did not matter.
You know, I'm just saying. Anyway, 855.
If you come back going oink oink, I'm gonna know what's up,
Hey,
man.
hey,
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Hey, it ain't happening to the brother.
I'm just saying, man.
You know what?
I'm still gonna love you, dog.
I'm
still gonna love you, dog.
I'm one of those
You can
guys,
tell.
when you see them kind of movies, I'm gonna die. And you gonna die too. I'd have never made a good slave.
There you go.
I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have been made a good slave.
I wouldn't have made it past the first scene.
That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't have made it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but
You know-
massa. It feels so good to me,
Yeah,
massa.
it feels so good slitting your throat, massa.
It feels so good to me, massa.
You know,
Yeah,
and you know, that's another thing about history. You know, we don't hear a lot about slave revolts, but there were quite a.
Why would they tell you about slavery?
Exactly, there were quite a few of them. But the whole point in not keeping it secret is that they didn't want other slaves on other plantations duplicating what happened.
Well,
Nat Turner was not the only one that revolted.
If you look at what happened in Haiti completely overthrew them. So
And that's why Haiti's in the situation he's in today.
Exactly.
Constant state of
Exactly.
right.
Yeah. Still.
So it just tells you don't fight back. Let them beat you up, and then you can be okay. You like that?
Not in my neighborhood, it ain't. I'm just saying, I wasn't raised that way. You know, I believe in an eye for an eye. You know what else I watched over the weekend, Robert? I thought about you too.
What?
The Purge.
The Purge, man. I tell you, come up to the hood.
I don't know why. It was on. I've seen it 20 times. And I sat there and watched the whole damn movie on
Jolly could do
the very first
He could
one.
do the Purge.
You know, so
Sorry, Jolly.
the very first one.
He in the wrong neighborhood.
Hey.
Jolly would be like, dang, it's too many white people.
Hey.
I can't kill all of them.
I believe in the
They is my
Purge.
friends.
I believe in the Purge. I'm just saying. 855-525-5683. We've got a guest. Introduce your guest, Robert.
Hey, man, this my boy K with Jolly. He came in to chill with us. And he gonna give us a little insight. It's gonna be a good show today, man. We got a little police action working in here, too. Former LRPD. You going back, though, right, at some point?
No, I'm not going back.
You never go back?
No, man.
Come on, man.
I did my 17. I'm flat, as they say on the street.
You serve your time, you fat.
I'm flat, man. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I loved every minute of it.
You did?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Even when I was suspended.
I bet you like
Multiple
this boy.
times.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is, man, as I used to tell a lot of the younger officers, particularly the younger black officers, you have a greater responsibility to the community than your counterparts.
Right.
Because when you come in, they calling you not because they just want to see you come down the street. They calling you because they need you.
Right.
And then you come in, but say you have somebody doing some crooked stuff, and you don't stop them, but you walk away.
Yeah.
I look at you as worse than the man who actually putting that boot on somebody's throat.
Right.
You see?
Yeah.
The man who walks away as a coward.
Right.
How can you stand up and be a man?
You gotta go back, man. You can't be like that, man. You gotta go back, man.
I'm good where I'm at right now, man. I'm good where I'm at.
That's why we can't get them to change, man. All the good ones leave.
Well, no, it's not the point that you can't get anything to change. It's the point is they don't want anything to change.
You don't think they want to change?
What do they want to change? See, this is the thing about the police department. And this is not just here in Arkansas. The police department has two departments within one. You have one department that polices, and you have one that patrols.
Right.
What do you think they're doing the policing at?
In the black community.
What do you think they're doing the patrolling at?
North of 630.
There you go, man.
So you got two police departments
Two
inside
police
one.
departments, two different mentalities. See, American society tells you the darker your skin is, the more guilty you are.
So that's how they train you.
That's psychological, man.
So that's not how they train
It's not
you.
about training. That's psychological. You are taught in America. You see everything that's negative. What color is the guy doing? In the movies, on the show. How many times you seen a white crackhead in a movie? How many times you seen a white dope dealer in a movie? How many times you seen a white hoe in the movie?
That's a good point.
So they solidifying the same thing about the systematic racism. Black folks, you can be on the pimps, hoes, and prostitutes.
That's why I was happy when Wesley Snipes, they're supposed to be redoing New Jack City, and he came out staunchly against it.
Why?
Because of that very fact of the stereotypes that it reinforced. Because if you think about New Jack City when it came out, it was a groundbreaking movie, and all of a sudden, everybody wanted to be like Nino Brown. You start seeing a lot of crazy stuff going on. And what he's saying is what I've been saying. See, it ain't about training. You see what I'm saying?
So you don't think you don't think there's a training component that goes with that to help to reinforce
you bring that stuff into that system. That's already in your minds whatsoever. It has nothing to do with training.
Okay.
They come in with the attitude that now, under the color of law, I can abuse your ass more.
So how do you fix that problem? I'm asking both of y'all.
But when does it become a problem? Let me ask you that first. Because see, the thing about it is this. If you're in your community, growing up, predominantly white, and your community believes this, when is it wrong?
So you're saying coming in and treating black folk like crap is
What?
not wrong to them?
One thing about it is this. When you've been taught the black man is the big bad wolf, per se, and they're violent, and then you see the imagery on television that reinforces that, then you begin to believe that without it's just like you going to the kitchen. You don't have to turn the lights on in your kitchen to go get a glass of water. You know where your glasses are. It becomes second nature for you to do this. You see, this is what I was saying, and it's like Mr. Scott down here in South Carolina. When the police shot him, he was running away from him. Wasn't a threat.
Right.
No way in the world you can say, I fear for my life.
Right.
Fear for my life is subjective. You can't tell me what I fear.
Right.
That's why one reason, that's all you hear police officers saying, I fear for my life. Here it is, you got a butt-naked man. Mental issues. No weapon on him. Police officer shoots. Charged with nothing. So now you reinforcing for other police officers.
Reinforcing I fear for my life.
See, I'll tell you an incident, man, I had one time. And I can say this now because I'm not down there, so they can't suspend me again.
Again?
Yeah.
What's it, again?
Let's write him up.
They gonna call you this and say, hey man, you suspended again.
I was over on Howard Street dealing with some guys that always would get caught.
Right.
To this one particular house. I'm not going to say their name. And a lot of officers knew the guys and they brought them. I had got a call over to this particular house one day. And
I'll bet you I know who they are, too.
Probably.
Don't say the name.
I'm not. But I grew up with him. I know. I know you're talking about.
Ohio. That's all I'm gonna say. Ohio Street.
Ohio Street.
Yeah.
That's it.
So the mother had called. Of course, he was. I won't say his name. He was intoxicated.
Right.
So the mother wanted him to leave. Make a long story short, I came over. I told him, hey, so and so, come on, man, let's go. You know, I don't want to take you to jail today. Where you want to go? He said, I want to go to the VA. Now, I was working this area down here.
Right.
This is my area. So the VA was over there north of 630.
Right.
So, of course, I take him over there. I never got on the radio and said, hey, Young 54 showed me 1019 with a 1012.
Right.
McKinney mileage, so and so, so and so. Because I knew I wasn't supposed to be over there.
Right.
But to keep him from getting arrested,
You did.
I took him over there. See, doing what's legally right and doing what's right.
What's
is not
morally
Morally
right.
right.
right. It's not always the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not always the same thing.
So did you get wrote up for that?
No, I did not.
Okay.
So I take him over to the VA. I'm coming back down Pine. I'm stopped right there at the light.
This ain't good.
I'm stopped right here at the light, man. I'm stopped right here at the light. I'm looking at the light. I have my window down. And I hear what I thought sounded like fireworks. Pop, 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 pop. Dang, I said, those not fireworks. And I'm seeing the light, I'm looking. This guy come running in front of my car. As he's running by, he's looking at me like, hey, you gonna help me?
You gonna help?
So I hit the corner. I turn right there in front of Giggles or Sydney Show.
Yeah.
And I hit that left on C.
Right.
I come up 10th Street. As I come up 10th Street, I slow down. It's a station wagon. It's about 4 guys in this station wagon. I can still see the smoke coming from the gun where they lean on the top of the car shooting at somebody. Pop, 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 pop. So I violated policy. I turned around the one way, went the wrong way. So I'm going southbound down the northbound one way.
Right.
So in my mind, I'm thinking, if I'm gonna get shot, I'm not gonna get shot sitting in my car.
Right.
So I get out the car where I can maneuver. And this is what I always say. I would have been justified in shooting one of these guys. Because when I pulled up on him, and while I was with the car and I ran over to the car, I drew down and told him, hey, put your hands up. Not in those terms, but
Right.
a couple of compound words and stuff like that.
A few adjectives.
Yeah, exactly. And they put their hands up. I pulled the driver, I put him down face first on the asphalt. And I had my knee in his back. And you know, you put your knee in your back, in his hand, in his back, you can feel his shoulder move.
Right.
So I got the gun in the car. I told everybody, put your hands up. This one guy was outside the car. He goes right back into the car. He leans down and go into the car. And I told him, I said, man, you know, get your out. I said, I will shoot you in your head. I would have been justified in shooting that guy.
Because he reached back in the car, right?
And it was a gun. When we searched the car, the gun was down there. So I would have been justified. But it wasn't the right thing to do. Just because you can do it doesn't make it right. That's like I tell people.
But if he had kept going for the gun, you wouldn't have a choice.
If he would have came up real quick like,
Right.
I would have popped him off.
You wouldn't have a choice.
Because I would have known where he was going. But
Right.
when he came and he looked up at me, I guess he saw in my eyes, this guy for real.
Right.
I didn't want to kill him, bro. I didn't want to kill him.
Right.
But I'm not going to allow you to hurt me.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Of your 17 years on the force,
Right.
how many times did you actually take your gun out to have a gunfight, to actually return fire?
Oh, man. In 17 years, I shot 2 people at the 15-year mark, less than 6 months apart. And in the same location.
You didn't kill him.
No, I didn't kill him. And it wasn't in the hood. It was right down from where the Waffle House was,
Yeah.
where the Black Eyed Peas used to, Black Eyed Peas.
Yeah.
West End
Yeah.
and Motel 6. It was in that area. It wasn't
It wasn't 12 years.
Pine or anything like that. Yeah. Shot 2 guys in less than 6 months. 15 years. Had never shot anybody.
Really?
Really.
every night.
And this is my personal thing.
But you're from Little Rock, so most of the guys you run into,
I know a lot of guys.
I would say you know them. I mean, we know almost everybody.
Right.
From Little Rock.
And the thing about it is, it's like I always say, I don't care what color you are, I don't care where you come from, I don't care what you do. We all want the same thing. Respect me, respect me, respect me.
That's it.
That's it, man. That's it. You don't have to go in here talking crazy to somebody. See, what I used to do, man, I used to love going to disturbances by myself. People say, "Wow, that's the most volatile situation ever. You don't know what's going to happen." I know what I'm going to do.
Right. You know,
I don't know what this other officer behind me going to do.
Right.
A lot of times I go in and I have a situation calm down.
And you know somebody in that room.
And you know, you come in, you have a situation calm down. And then somebody else come in, what the hell's going on?
Right. Escalated.
You see, I used to tell guys, just because black people get loud, doesn't mean that we're aggressive.
Right. It's just how we talk.
That's why I used to tell the white guys, I said, let me tell you some pointers, man. When you go here, they're going to be talking loud. That's not a sign of aggression. I say, we as black folks, we think whoever's talking the loudest, you get your point across.
Exactly. you gotta know those little things.
You gotta know
those little songs.
Just talk a little louder, Rob.
Just a little bit.
but you know, but that's the thing about it, man. Being a police officer, excuse me, you were a counselor, you were a parent, the parents were around. Hell, you were the parent, even when some of the parents were still around.
Right.
I mean, you were a dictator. Sometimes it was a democracy. Sometimes it was able to let people do what they do. You know, I would come to the parking lot, Wheels and Grills was here. They boom, music, pavement shaking, boom.
Right.
And they out there drinking. And I would come through. They see the police car, they trying to hide. And then I get out the car, they be like, oh, it's Jolly. No, you gonna show me the same respect.
You gonna show somebody else, right?
Officer so-and-so. I never trip because just call me Jolly. Officer's never my name.
Right.
But they say, what's your name, Officer? Jolly. Oh, Officer Jolly. No, my name is Jolly.
Jolly, yeah.
See, I was the same cat with the uniform on as a uniform off. If you can find somebody to say Jolly changed when he became a police officer, I'll call him a lie in his face.
Yeah, a lot of guys ain't like that, Jolly. There's some exceptions, man. There's a lot of exceptions, bro.
So what area of Little Rock did you grow up in?
I lived off of Jefferson. For a matter of fact, 821 Jefferson.
Okay.
For a while, and then I moved over on Appian Way.
Okay.
I won't get that address by my number.
But the reason I'm asking that, because it makes all the difference in the world where you grow up. So the problem that I think that we have here in Little Rock with police is that, shoot, almost 80% of them don't even live in Little Rock.
That's a big problem.
You see, and for whatever reasons, the powers that be. Now, here's and you weren't here, but this is what I said to Robert earlier, before when we came on, is that think about it from this perspective. Your job as a police officer is to lack of a better term, stop crime. Okay, but you don't live in Little Rock.
Not stop it, because you can't stop.
Well, I know, but just
prevent.
Well,
prevent
it. Okay, whatever the case may be. Right. All right, but you don't live in Little Rock because you say it's too much crime.
You're not doing your job.
That's my point.
Not doing your job.
That's exactly. You're not doing your job.
But
I always tell them that, man. I always tell them that, man.
If you're a police officer, you say the reason you don't stay somewhere you're a police officer because there's too much crime. You're an idiot.
Yeah,
that's your job. But you say you're not doing your job.
Or she's a police officer.
Yeah, you say you're not doing your job essentially.
You have female Indians too. Man.
Oh yeah. But and see, that's the irony that the city board doesn't get here.
No, they get it.
You know, okay, you're right. They probably do get it. But see, that's what we need to start communicating to people in Little Rock. Is that, look, if you don't do your job, you are the problem.
But again, police do not prevent crime. If they prevented crime, hell, we wouldn't need nothing else. They had the little ball like on Minority Report just rolls out and says, Jolly, you need to go to 1816 Appian Way. You need to go wherever. Police.
Did you just give us address?
No, that's just a random. Appian Way don't have an 18. Okay, they stopped at 12.
Okay, I'm just wondering. You know.
But
so you got out of the hood, man.
I'm sorry, I've been out. I didn't grow up in the hood.
But
ain't this?
The thing about it is this: it makes no difference as much of you didn't grow up at, you know right from wrong.
Right.
That's the point
You know
I've been
right
trying to
from wrong.
make.
All right, Jalen, 1 second. I want to get you.
No, don't let him finish that
Okay,
point.
I'm back.
Because see, you hadn't gotten that yet.
Got what yet?
We've been talking about for the last 2 weeks morals over money. And when you shoot a person, I understand that you're protecting yourself, but some of this BS that they're shooting black kids over, a ink pen, a cell phone, him running away, that's morals. That has nothing to do with training at all. Talk a little bit about that.
But the thing about it is this, and that's a good point. That's a good point. Because you have two people that go through the same training, but you don't have the same mentality. And one officer is on the dark side. Another officer,
Luke, I'm your father.
I knew it was coming. I thought you were going to say it. So, what is that variable?
Right.
If you have the same numbers in your equation as I do, then how did you get a different answer than I got?
Right.
It comes down to your moral fiber in your body. You know wrong. American society knows wrong from right. There's no such thing as a gray area. Let me put that there for you first. There's no such thing as a gray area. Gray area was created by an individual who wanted something to fit the narrative that he felt comfortable with. Okay. That's what a gray to an incident is. Because think about it is this. You go out here and you walk out the studio.
Okay.
Two guys come up and they start to jump on you. You defend yourself. You end up breaking one of the guy's jaw, and the other guy, he's 10-7.
Okay.
Which means he's gone.
Right.
Were you wrong in breaking that guy's jaw?
Ain't no gray area there.
Or were you right in breaking that guy's jaw? And then you say, it wasn't your fault, Robert, that you injured these two people and killed one guy. Because guess what? For every reaction, there's a cause.
Right.
For every cause, there's a reaction. However you want to put it.
Right.
If they didn't come up and try to jump on you, you would have never done anything to them.
Right.
So who's at fault?
I got that.
Right or wrong? That's
so
it.
I'm good to go.
Good to go.
So let me ask you. So you saw the thing that happened in Texas in Fort Worth. Give us shit. We want to ask you about a couple of them, but start with that one.
Which one?
We want the one with what's her name? Jefferson.
Tatiana Jefferson. The lady who was.
That's Sister Jefferson,
yeah.
man. That's a messed up deal, man. And first of all, I don't know if anybody even knows her here, but I just send prayers out to her family because they tell you your house is your home.
Right.
It's your castle.
Right.
By any means, protect the castle.
Yeah.
Now, first of all, 2:00 in the morning. Now the neighbor is feeling some kind of way because he thinks I never would have called.
She's been alive, right? Yeah.
And it seems like to me it's always people who have a bright future
Right.
in front of them.
Yeah.
The light is being turned on. And what I mean, all I can do is speak from my psychological point of view. First of all, if I get dispatched to that house 2:00 in the morning, the door is open. It's been open for, he said, since 10 o'clock, somewhere around there. There's 2 officers there. First thing you're going to do is, one's going to walk around the house. Make sure no windows are broken, anything like that. But me...
Not going to knock on the door first?
Wait a minute, I said, but it's 2 officers.
Oh, it's 2 officers.
Okay, so one should have went to the door and knocked. Excuse me. Fort Worth police, Little Rock police.
Right.
Little Rock police. Are you okay? Just like that.
Right.
But that didn't happen. But then you go straight around. And if I see some flashlights around my house, I'm shooting.
No question asked.
No question. Because what the hell you doing in my yard with the flashlight? My mind is coming to do dirt.
Right.
It's either dirty or it's clean.
That's it.
And that's it.
Right.
And he didn't even identify himself as a police officer. She had a gun. That's her right to have a gun. It's your right to protect your house. It's your Second Amendment. You don't need no concealed weapon permit to have a house. A weapon in your house.
That's right.
Nothing. Didn't even identify. He shoots through the window. So I pose this question to you guys. Now, what if she would have shot through the window and shot him?
She'd been locked up.
She'd been locked up.
No questions asked. And she wouldn't have got bail. Well, she would have got bail, but they wouldn't let her go home.
But again, that goes back to the point about morals, because you know the young white teacher. I don't know. She was a defense attorney, I believe, who made the statement to the city board, the city council. She made the very salient point: is that same thing basically happened to her.
White privilege.
She didn't get shot. Yeah. So that cop knew going into
nor her dog.
Nor her dog.
I hate to say
this.
Yeah,
Right. But that cop knew going into that neighborhood, he had preconceived notions right off the bat. He wasn't thinking about humanity. He wasn't thinking about human life.
He was
patrolling. Exactly. Okay. And therein lies the problem. And Robert, I think you make an excellent point. Is that how do you fix that? I don't know. I really don't. But we'll be glad to hear because at this point, what's going to start happening is that citizens are going to start shooting first and asking questions later. Because what we're seeing around the country, and I think you made an excellent point, what we're seeing around the country now is that this attitude is replete throughout policing across America. And if something is not done about it, people are going to start saying, hey, we're not going to take this anymore. I think we're at that point now. And Robert didn't agree with me, but had Amber Geiger not been convicted, I think Dallas was going to explode. I just had a feeling. And if somehow or another this particular cop gets off, people had enough of this. So you tell us what's going on here.
Okay, I want to talk to the one point about Amber Geiger. She got convicted. She didn't get any time.
No.
10 years.
No.
You're going to do a third of that. And then you're going to be out on good time. So she'd be lucky to serve 2 years for murder. We got people who actually kill dogs and get more time than that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we go back to this correlation. What is the black life value when it's less than a dog out here in the street?
Well, you speak about Rakia Boyd, the young lady who was in Chicago. She was outside with some friends. I didn't realize it happened. It's amazing how I can recall this. I follow him so much. She was outside with some friends. An off-duty drunk cop comes out, shoots at the crowd, and ends up shooting her in the head, killing her. And he didn't get convicted. And as of last week, he is now suing the city of Chicago to remove all of the negative things off of his record because he can't get a job.
Well done.
You see, but again, that's where, see, the thing I posted a piece earlier as well. Did you all know that you can get a tax deduction by donating to the KKK?
I keep that tax.
Wait a minute, but you get the point, right?
I get the point, yeah.
The point is, if those of you who don't understand what I just said, is that the federal government, the United States government, is helping to fund the KKK by offering tax deductions to people who make donations.
I'm confused. Why are you acting surprised by this?
I'm not. I'm just simply saying I make these points. You know I ain't surprised. I know the history of this country.
It's obvious.
But I make these points to make people understand that what we've been doing, offering thoughts and prayers, ain't working.
Well,
it ain't gonna work.
I remember reading. I can't think of the guy's name now, but he was the state senator or United States senator from Georgia. I can't remember his name now, but him and LBJ were tight. He was an open Ku Klux Klan member. So those things are not surprising to me. But the question I have for y'all is, so okay, I heard what y'all said about it being a morality issue. That there's some moral issue how they treat black folks. How do you fix that thing? If it's a moral issue, a morality issue, how do you fix that?
Well, it's nothing you can do about morality. But when morality becomes criminal, now you're in a different boat. And this is what I mean by that. police officers as a whole, over the totality across America, have never been prosecuted for murder. I always tell people, it makes no difference. Justifiable homicide or homicide. It's still murder. Justifiable, just saying that, okay, you was okay killing this guy. And then you go to church on Sunday, you do this, then you go ahead and kill another guy. But that's a whole different situation. Right? Stop. But the thing about it is this, and this is how I will propose that the matter is resolved. Just like false imprisonment. Someone needs in government put a bill in place. Because I get tired of turning the television on and you see guys after 30 years. Oh, we found out he didn't do it. Right. Oh, somebody didn't present this evidence. He gets out. Now this man is traumatized. Yeah. He's been in the penitentiary. And then you just release him back onto the street. He stole his life. Now, okay, this is what I say. In the legal system, you have what I call a filtration system. You have the lower level patrolmen who actually are on the boots on the ground, who will get the case, and if it's a felony case or whatever, they'll call a detective out. Detective comes out. A lot of times you might know them by the tight khakis they wear. But I'm just joking, man. David, you just don't get mad at me. I'm just joking. Yeah. Private joke. So then you have a detective who goes through all the evidence, puts a case file together. Detective sends it over to the prosecutor attorney's office. Contrary to what people believe, police officers don't charge you anything. It's a prosecutor attorney. You put the file together, and then they'll go over there and they'll say, well, no, I'm not going to charge you with that. Or we're going to charge you with this and this and that. So then you have the prosecutor. But then the largest filtration is the judge. So you telling me a man spends 30 years in prison, you went through 4 levels of filtration, nobody knew, or nobody presented this evidence that could have got him out.
And what they wanted to, I mean, look at the movie. What was it? Will They See Us? What was the movie about?
Yeah, When They See Us.
When They See Us. I mean, you look at that, man. I mean, that was obvious. Everybody knew that these kids were not guilty, but they pushed it through anyway. And you telling me so that's the same process.
For numbers, man.
Numbers and morals, because see, they didn't give a damn about those black kids.
So okay, how do you fix it?
Okay. I'm gonna tell you how you fix it. If I'm in penitentiary for something I did not do, and it comes to light with the evidence, and I served 30 years, the police officer, the detective that worked the case, the prosecutor who prosecuted the case, and the judge who convicted me should all get 30 years in the penitentiary. And I guarantee you,
I like that.
A lot of this crooked shit.
Crooked stuff, yeah.
Sorry. A lot of this crooked stuff, man, will cease immediately. We ain't talking about 20 years down the road. We ain't talking about now. We talking about right now. You pass that on Monday, I guarantee you Monday evening,
it's over with.
But I agree with them, because see, right now police know. I mean, when you go and you look at some of their chats, you know, back when Mike Brown, all the stuff was breaking with Mike Brown and Tamir Rice and and Trayvon Martin. This whole thing was, you want a paid vacation, go out and kill a nigga. Yeah. This is what was in their chats. Right. So if they know that, hey, nothing's really going to happen to me anyway, that's true, then I can do it. I get a free vacation, paid vacation, and I'm good. Okay. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So if they know now that if it's a bad shoot, then potentially I'm going to jail. Right. It'll stop immediately. The problem is, the problem is not necessarily the police. The problem is the prosecuting attorneys and the judges. That's the problem.
Well, it's a collective problem.
Exactly.
You can't bake a cake without eggs.
Yep.
Or flour. Mm-hmm. Or sugar. So it's a collective problem. Now my thing about it is this. And I'll throw some more in here. How much investigation do you think is going to be investigated when somebody who hunts with somebody and their kids go to school together and they live next door to each other is investigated? I always said, how can the police investigate the police?
Yep.
You know, it's back when I was on the force. This was before we had cameras in the cars.
Okay.
That's before you had the mics and all that stuff, man. I mean, hell, you could drive to Sherwood and go to your house and come back. They never knew what you was at.
Right. No GPS.
I'm just saying.
You never did that. You just saying you could.
But you ain't got to worry about it anyway.
Right, so,
Yeah,
I did it. I did it.
Yeah, I did.
I went to the casino on my car, on my ship.
We had some ideas. But anyway,
You lying, man.
I go get into that.
Oh, come on, man. You gotta tell me that one. You ain't told me that one, Johnny. Come on, man.
I'll take that out there, man. But the thing about it is, if you are doing your job and you're doing it right, you don't care who sees you.
Right.
And I always told people, I told them this when I was down there. The ones who are making the biggest fuss and resisting the most on having cars with video cameras in them, those are the officers you need to watch.
Those are the ones that doing that.
Those are the
There
ones
you
you
go.
need to watch. Because if you're doing your job on the up and up, why would you be offended because somebody's recording what you're doing?
Right. I think that's a good point. That's a good point.
That's the one. Those are the officers that you need to be leery of and watch out. And the thing about it is this: if we had officers out there doing whatever, say somebody would say, "Hey, he's stealing my money," you have multiple people coming down that don't know each other,
Right.
but they saying the same thing. Because you're gonna have an MO.
Right.
You're gonna pull them over on traffic stop. You're gonna make statements when you say, "Well, you can go to jail or you can go home. Which one you want?"
You can buy your freedom, boy.
Yeah.
You can buy your
So when
freedom.
you have people who don't know each other
Right. Say the same
come in
thing.
saying the same thing that this officer said to them, and you don't do anything, but you move the officer to a different location
Why you move? Hold on. Why you move him? Why don't you just fire him?
because you out here harassing people. You making arrests.
That's how you make officer of
You
the
make
year.
it-
That's how you make officer of the year.
Yeah.
How you make officer of the year, man?
Who just-
Have you ever made officer of the year?
Yeah.
How many arrests you had that year?
How many wrecks?
Arrests.
Oh, I wouldn't arrest nobody, man.
How you get officer of the year then?
I got officer of the year because
That's when you shot the two folks.
they give you rewards for shooting.
Jesus, stop! Come on, talk to me. Will you stop, man? I feel. Oh Lord,
You okay,
I
Rob?
can't do this with Charlie.
We're going to take a break and let you
It's
get...
like we playing golf. I can't be messing with right now, man.
We're going to take a break and let you recompose yourself, okay? Woo! Lord! Boy, I'm enjoying this inside.
Oh, Jesus.
855-525-5683 is the number. Robert Webb in the house. We got a former Little Rock finest giving us the inside dope on what it's all about being a cop.
Still fine now, but
I'm not going out to say no. He going out. We leave this man. He giving it up.
You know, so
I shot two folks and I got the accuracy award.
there you go.
no.
Sharpshooter award.
He said, I would have got officer of the year had I killed him, but I didn't kill him. I just wounded him.
Yeah. Just winged it.
Just
winged it at him.
No,
And
man.
plus, I didn't shoot black folk. If they had been black, I probably would have got $10,000 for each one.
So, no.
All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be back. Top of the hour. We'll be back in a moment. You're listening to Black Focus Radio. Our issues, our solutions, our voices. JoinNetRadio.com.
Hold on, man. Oh, no, we still got that FaceTime live.
Yeah.
You ignorant, man.
I mean, you got, man, just some of the stuff, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, saints abroad, get ready from Sumter, South Carolina. Tennessee Virgins.
Dude, they had a guy who got a DWI.
Okay.
They had him on the streets, working patrol. DWI, they take your license,
Right.
so you can't drive.
Right.
But yet you out here with the police car.
Do what?
He was still with the police car. They had him on the street. So what they did was, they took him from behind the wheel, put him in the passenger side, so he had to drive. Somebody got smart, because I was like, dude, that's a liability waiting to happen. Because what if something happened and he had to drive somebody around and he had an accident? Now,
Ain't nobody covered.
yeah, that's what I was telling people all the time. So what they did, they created a walk beat specifically for him.
You lying.
That's crazy, man.
Downtown on Main Street. Walk beats have been gone for 30, 40 years.
That's crazy. You that desperate to keep somebody on the force and you do that?
That's about just keeping around.
That's kind of, y'all didn't see the video of the cop. Y'all, you know what happened in Dallas last night, right, with the tornadoes? They busted a cop in Dallas last night. One of the places that was hit was a liquor store.
No, don't tell me.
Dude was collecting up some bottles, dude.
Inside the store?
Don't tell us, man. Don't tell us. One of us.
No, it was funny.
So you feel better now?
Dude, I mean, and it was the killer thing. It was a local media who was just driving around in the aftermath. They had the light on everything. Dude had already picked up 2 bottles, was set them aside, and I'm gonna pull it up. Man, I'm telling you, man, these guys have no morals, man. They have no morals. That's why, to me, a police officer got to be above reproach, and any failing along those lines, he should be subject to termination.
Always.
You know what I'm saying? Because you've got to be that way.
But see, that's the thing about it.
Let me see if I can find that video.
You can't even put your hands in your pockets as a police officer. You can't chew gum when you make contact with the public. You can't smoke in the car. You can't dip tobacco. But it all goes on. Nobody's being disciplined for it.
Really?
Yeah. They got all kind of stuff, man. It's a policy book. Rules and regulations. Oh, man, look at here.
Man, come on, man, look at this video.
Check this out. This dude is stealing liquor, man. The money you make, you can go buy it.
Unlimited. Contact David W. Coleman at 615-554-0568 to support the Tigers. Proceeds to benefit the Little Rock Central High Tigers Athletic Fund.
Good.
He got the bag and everything, man.
Maybe he was collecting, man, to get back.
Yeah, he was collecting, all right. He was.
The views and opinions expressed today on Black Focus.
And they got, like, he don't care. See what I'm saying?
Its management.
He don't care.
Now, let's get rid.
He ain't even trying to hide.
Maybe he collected it, man. He collected to get back.
Our voices on Black Focus.
That's not the first time he's done something like that.
That's my point. He don't care. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. See, I got a point about that too, man.
You know, surrounding areas and the nation. Get ready. Black Focus starts right now. Phone lines open at 855-525-5683. So here's your host, David W. Coleman.
I can't deal with y'all.
I'm sorry, man.
I'm leaving after this.
Woo, Lord have mercy, boy. We got Kaywood Jolly here, former LRPD officer in the studio with us today. We're laughing, but it's kind of sad, of course. By the way,
you gotta laugh to keep from crying.
have you heard the story of the man who built who wants to build a time machine so he can go back and kill whoever invented child support?
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, my God.
Man, and by the way, that's a brother. But I showed the guys in the break the video of the officer in Dallas. And by the way, shout out, we've got a lot of friends. I know I do have a lot of friends in Dallas. And they got hit with a huge tornado last night. As of this morning, they said there were tens of thousands of people without power this morning. That's what, if you were up this morning about 3 a.m., that's what came through Little Rock. Fortunately for us, we didn't get tornadic type activity. But there were blocks. It's a 17-mile path of destruction in Dallas, Texas. And I was showing the guys in the break, the local media was out, as they do after these disasters, filming the disaster. And they just happened up on a police officer at a liquor store. And he looked like he was doing his job and collecting liquor bottles.
That's what he was doing, man. He was trying to get it done. Hold on. I gotta
take it back to the law.
Yo, I gotta get this question answered, man, because I gotta have clarity. So, Jolly, I need to know, because it's been rumored the way you make police officer of the week or police officer of the year is you gotta have a significant number of arrests. Now, you just said that I didn't do that, but I got officer of the year. So what'd you do? What? Tell us your thing.
Because I got officer of officer in a month. I didn't get officer in a year. I got officer in a month a couple of times for different, like making not a lot of arrests, but you make a
not a lot of it, but you
yeah.
better make some significant.
That's just like when I had the robbery over here at the library.
Okay.
And I ended up catching who I thought was a guy, but it turned out to be a girl. And we was in there. I think I got officer of the month for that, man. I can't remember what the other incident was, but no, it's not necessary. You shouldn't be. No. If you do something, say you pull somebody out of the car, you get a life-saving award for that.
Okay.
Even if it's a little small fire in the car, to go. But see, my thing about it is this. On that statement, when we was talking about the officer at the liquor store
shopping,
he wasn't fazed about the light being shined on him.
No.
He didn't look around one time. See, that's what I was talking about, and I got distracted with the Mr. Stott down in Carolina.
Right.
And the guy was running away from the officer who shot him multiple times. And then he said, oh, he tried to take my taser. And he went over to pick it up and walked back over and dropped it behind. Mm-hmm. See, the thing about it is this, and I don't know if you guys even looked at it like this. No one ever, you never saw that officer look around one time. Mm-hmm. See, the thing about it is this. When somebody's uncomfortable doing something, what do?
Yeah, look around.
They look around. When somebody walks into the store to steal something, it's not the guy who walks in and just goes to the rack, put it in his shirt and walk out. Right. It's a guy who's looking around, up at the cameras, and walk around 3 times and look at this shirt. That's the guy who gets caught. But he didn't look around one time because he felt comfortable doing what he was doing. Because if he would have looked around, he would have saw the guy over there by the tree filming. But he never looked around.
But he wasn't worried about that.
And then I'll tell you something even more egregious than that. The officer who tries to justify what he did is right.
So the FOP, you said FOP.
FOP or whoever it is, you trying to justify. The thing about it is this. Sometimes you just got to get from up under people. It's not saying that I don't love you. It's not saying that I don't care about you. But what it's saying is I don't agree with what you did.
Right. Now, you know, Russ got this list. He got this liars list. All these cops who did, who lied. Now,
It's called the Brady list.
The Brady list.
They've got them all over the country.
But let me ask you this. Is it hard to accidentally misquote something intentionally on purpose?
Misspoke. As Hillary Clinton once said, oh, I misspoke.
You misspoke, right?
Yeah. I mean, you can it's not like I would give you a benefit of the doubt.
Okay.
Rob, if you said something, that's just like if we were playing golf. Like you say, oh, I made a par.
Right.
Par 4. No, you made a 7.
7, right.
Yeah.
Right.
I say, yeah.
Or a snowman.
You're going to give me the benefit of the doubt on that one.
And then I want to say you're lying.
Right. You know I didn't make the point. Right. You been the guy with me. Okay.
But the thing about it is this, man. You got to look at it like this. You understand, say you up there, you testifying. You be up there for 40 minutes, 30 minutes. And sometimes you get your facts twisted. I'm not trying to defend anybody. I'm just giving you the reason. Okay. And what I used to do all the time is, if it was something that I wasn't for sure, I'd say, I'm not sure about that. Right. Or if it was something I didn't know, I said, well, I don't know about that. Well, where was he standing when you exit your vehicle? Well, I don't know. Okay. I said, I can't recall correctly where he was. I'm not going to say he was standing here. He could have been standing there.
Right.
So that's
let me ask you this. So between the time you have an incident and the time you do your report, how much time has elapsed in between?
Well, it depends on how the call loads up.
Okay.
See, that goes back to it again. If you running calls are coming in, you have time to actually just get the information, put in your notebook, throw it in your pocket, and then you might go answer another call that they 10-20 in for. What that means is is there any unit that can take disturbance at 1515 Wright Avenue? Right. Second call for any unit that can take a disturbance at 1515 Wright Avenue. Okay. And then if you like on something, or if you write somebody a ticket, it might be their lucky day. Say, well, hey, it's your lucky day. And then you go and answer that call.
So The reason I asked that question is because I know some people were saying, like, you know, they might write up a report, and they might add some facts. Or,
So you're saying they lying?
I don't know, because that's why I asked you the question. How much time is it between the time you take, you know, like let's say for instance, you pull a guy over, got drugs in his car, right? And you pull him over, got drugs in his car. You take everything down. Do you process that guy all the way through and then do your report, or do you just take that guy to the county and you get back out here and start hitting?
Well, it depends on the amount of drugs he has.
Okay.
Because if he has a significant amount of drugs, then you're gonna call a narcan, which is a detective. Okay. But just narcotics detective. That's all he deal with, narcotics. It's not like he dealing with any abuse or any violence or B&Es and burglaries. He's just narcotics. Okay. And you'll call him out. Okay. And if it's a big load, then he's gonna come and take it over. He's gonna do the ADR and do all that, and then you'll write the report. And basically what you say is, hey, I made contact with subject 1, Mr. Smith, pulled them over at 1515 Wright Avenue. The subject tried to flee the vehicle. I called him, searched the car, located a backpack with 2 packages wrapped in duct tape.
Right. Good to go.
Yeah.
I just made employee of the month.
Officer of the month, not employee.
And he was missing. He said he had 50 grand, but I couldn't find it.
You know, man, and the thing about it is this, and once again, it correlates, goes back to what Brother Banneker said. Morality. My thing about it is this: how can you enforce the laws
if you
you're breaking more than the people you arrested?
That's a good point, though. That's a good point.
And then it takes me to this one. People always say there are more good police officers than bad.
I don't agree with that one.
Neither do I.
And this is what I always say. Well, if there's so many good police officers,
why you got so many bad ones?
Why is the so few able to do so much bad? So I ask you, how good are your good police officers?
They're not good. If they know other guys doing bad and they ain't turning them in, they just. Let me ask you that. That's a good question too. So, you know, I hear about this thing that you don't rat on other officers. You don't squill on them. You don't rat them out. If you see a guy doing something wrong, you don't report it.
Don't do it around me.
So you gonna report it.
Now, my thing about it is this. You have to look. The police department is an organization.
I see why they don't want you back.
He's one of the good ones.
He's one of the good ones. They don't want him back.
But the police department is actually an organization where they circle the wagons.
Yeah.
And what they're saying is, hey, Robert, you're not a good officer. And I had a friend one time tell me that he stopped the officer and said, hey, man, you know Officer Jolly? That's my homeboy. You know where he is? He said he just looked at him and walked off.
Don't like you, man. They don't like
But see,
you.
think about this. I don't give a dang about you liking me. Right. But you will respect me.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and a lot of the guys who didn't like me, they already knew. Man, don't bring that to Jolly. Man, don't do that around Jolly. My thing is this. I did the same way that my mom did us. If you act up in church, you getting beat down in church. If you in the grocery store,
did your mama know my mama?
You know all our mamas.
They must have took the same class.
It didn't matter. Wherever you got to act a fool. Look, I would tell my kids all the time, look, I learned to act a fool a lot earlier than you did from your grandmama. So you don't want to act a fool on me in the church.
But you can't allow, it's just like kids. If you tell a child, don't do this, don't do that, and he does and you don't do anything, then you got a problem. You got a problem. A kid, a 2 or 3 year old gonna test you. Right. You say, don't touch that, they're looking at you.
Touching nobody's looking at you.
Yeah, yeah. If you don't do anything. But what you have, a lot of times in the police department, man, you have people taking care of you.
Okay.
And what I mean by that, you have supervisors taking care of subordinates. See, my thing about it is this. Rob, if I know you are not one from you, but you my homeboy, and you out here, you writing reports, and you arresting people and stuff like that, you get into all type of resistance. I know. It's shady. If it sounds shady, it's shady. but you do nothing. So then what you're saying about doing nothing, I accept and condone your activity.
Yeah, condone what you're doing, right?
See, look, it was never that. I didn't care what color you were. If anybody out there listening, it can call in and say something different, I dare you to, because you be lying.
You go right up on it.
I'm gonna walk right up on it. Hands up, though. Hands up.
Man, y'all sick. I can't be doing this with y'all.
Yeah, man. And that's the thing about it. It's sad that we are where we are.
I agree with you, man. Only thing is, man, y'all just depress me, man. 'Cause y'all just saying it's virtually impossible to fix.
No, it's not impossible to fix.
Well,
if you want it to be fixed, it can be fixed. But society doesn't want it to be fixed.
That's my point.
You mean the larger society? You don't
Society
mean
don't want it
right.
to be fixed.
That's my point.
The legal society don't want it to be fixed because guess what? If you are not out here putting charges on people, they're not going to the penitentiary. If they're not going to the penitentiary, that bunk is empty. If that bunk is empty, you don't need these 12 guards to patrol this barracks. So now you wait away these jobs. Who has those jobs?
White folk.
I was listening to the radio one time. Ja Rule had said it, and I was like, man. Ja Rule said something that made him change his whole thing. He went to the penitentiary. He said that this was like his second stint. So he knew it, the guard. The guard, he said it was a white boy. He said he told him, I want to thank you. He's like, what you thank me for what?
My job.
He said, because you provide a job for my son. And at that point in time, Ja Rule said it hit him. And that's when he stopped doing what he was doing.
That's a good point you just made, man. Let me ask you this. So, I remember a few years ago, man, we FOI'd all the people, all the police officers who had applied, who had passed the written test, physical test, right, and then who got hired. And what was ironic to me was that you had more black folk apply than you had white folk. You had more black women apply than damn near anybody, right? But yet and still, when it came to people who got hired, whites were hired 2-3-1 almost. How does that, in your opinion, how does that happen?
It happens because the people pushing them through look like them. That's just like when I got hired, this was back in 94.
Okay.
The BPOA, the Black Police Officers Association,
okay,
had actually filed a lawsuit against the city.
I remember that.
So they filed a lawsuit. So in return for the lawsuit, they were hiring more people of color. Because it wasn't a large Mexican or Hispanic, it wasn't a large Hispanic population at the time. So they actually were targeting college degrees and things like that. So a lot of people got hired with that lawsuit that was passed.
How many do you think got hired?
I know in the class I was in, recruit class 44. That's just the way it is.
Right.
That's what we had this one instructor named Rusty Watson, man. I don't know if Rusty's still down. We used to call him Sheriff. And that was his saying. Be like, man, I was a Watson. Why is so-and-so? He said, that's just the way it is.
It's the way it is.
Yeah. You used to call him Sheriff. He used to call me Deputy. He was from Huntsville, up there where ain't nobody black, brown, but the tires.
You go back and forth every day?
No, he came down here.
Oh, okay.
And he always used to tell me, he said, Kate, he said, when I retire, I'm going to go back to Huntsville. I'm going to run for sheriff. I said, well, damn, I said, I'm going to be your deputy. I used to tell him, I said, think they'll notice me? Yeah. I said, I'll give me a big cowboy hat.
Get that son's like, howdy, partner. Get you one of them wheat straws in your lip.
He was like, I don't know how long you going to last.
You ain't going to last long up there. Hey, y'all sick. So how many was in your class? How many black versus white?
Wow, man. In my class, we actually started out with 36.
36, okay.
We had 36, and when we graduated, we had 30.
That's not bad, though. You only lost 6.
It was more, I want to say we had more blacks.
Really?
Yeah.
2-1? Pretty much even? Slightly over?
We had a lot of black girls.
Oh, really?
Yes. We had should have pulled that picture out, man. But it was a lot of blacks in our class, males and females, man. And see, the thing about it is, you actually, back then, you got placed by how you graduated in the class. So if you was on the bottom,
you went to patrol.
You was going to patrol anyway.
Oh, okay.
You was going midnights, Monday and Tuesday off.
I got you. Okay.
You know, so, but see, I graduated, and this is the thing they could have never understand about me. I graduated third.
In your class?
In my class.
Okay.
See, I was always taught, you're going to open your mouth, know what you're talking about.
Hello.
And have something in your head to talk about.
Right.
So, a lot of times when I would talk about something, I already knew what the answer was.
Right.
And then when I knew you didn't know it,
it was over with it.
I'm like a tiger. I'm finna just devour you. And it make you look and feel like, damn, I don't want to come debate with him or talk to him anymore like that. But I graduated third that day. And then if I wouldn't have messed up on the range, I could have been number one.
Okay.
And see, that's what I was outspoken. I've never been one of those brothers to hold my tongue.
Yeah, really. I know.
My grandma used to always say, I rode in the back of the bus so you don't have to.
Right.
And I never really understood what grandma was talking about.
Till you start working for the police department.
To all that, man.
You know you got problems, right?
I know.
No, he's a conscious brother. That's what we need more of. I like that too because see, my thing was like when I go out to classes and speak to young people or even my kids, I said if I roll up in your class and you sitting in the back of the class,
oh, boy, that's what I'm talking about right there.
I'm going. It's going to be a fight.
Give you something.
Okay, I expect you to be on the front row.
Yes.
And if you can't be on the front row, you better be damn near close to the front row. You better not be in the back. Don't give me this where she alphabetized. She better tell me the reason you there. So, and see, that's what we got to start doing. It's really about, see, the difference in you, what I'm hearing in you and most of our kids today is that, see, you were taught about history, about culture. No, I'm talking about.
7 years old, you're talking about a kid.
I'm talking about when he was a kid.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Are you not listening to the show?
Robert never listened, man.
Gosh.
She just always run up
But
in my mouth.
but
Take some pep.
this is why I am so such an advocate about history, is because, and that's what I was saying earlier in the show, is that you can't run around and say we don't want movies about slavery when that's part of our history. And not understanding that all of those people were not just roll over and say yes, yes, master, no, master. You got to talk about all of it. And if you empower, my power comes from my knowledge.
Right.
It doesn't come from my guns. It doesn't come from my fist. My friends would tell me how was I able to be tops of my class at Dale, and I was one of the only few blacks there. How was I able to go through and matriculate in a lot of these jobs? And my black friends would say, man, they never mess with you. They always messing with me. Because he's exactly right. When you got something between your ears and they can't debate you, you're their equal at that point. I'm telling you, you're their equal at that point. But if you walk around and every time you look around, you, yes, sir, no, sir, you don't ever challenge the status quo, yeah, they going to label you as a get over. And every chance they get, they going to get over on you. And you're going to go home and be mad at your wife and your kids. You're going to be beating your wife and your kids as opposed to exercising that anger on the job where you need to.
True.
It's about what you know between your ears.
I get that. So, y'all, listen. So, let's fix the problem, Jolly. We got you here, Jolly. We got all these big brains in the room. Let's fix the problem with policing in the black community. What's the first thing we do?
Well, first of all, the community got to fix itself.
Hello?
Okay, break that down for me.
Well, first of all, put the trash in the trash can.
Okay. Keep going, don't stop.
Respect Miss Johnson.
Okay.
You have her sleeping in a bathtub because she's scared to get shot.
Just this weekend in Philadelphia, a 2-year-old kid gets shot in the head.
Okay.
Black community.
See, the thing about it is this, man. Where have we came from the point where we used to respect each other in the neighborhood?
You need to watch Speeches, the Nigger Factory. You need to watch that.
But I'm just saying right now, where have we come to a point where you can't say something to a little guy walking down the street with his pants down to the back of his knees, and he out there screaming and cussing and yelling at somebody.
Right.
And then you say, "Hey, young man, you need to stop all that." He wants to turn and put it on you. Where was his parents to teach him something different? See, babies can't have babies, man. But the thing about that is this. Babies have really been having babies since the turn of the century. You know, grandma was young when she started having kids. So that's no excuse. So the thing about it is, grown-ups can't be scared of kids. That's the bottom line. Kids are not, it's a new era, as they say.
Okay.
Just like they used to wear skinny suits back in the day. Shark skin, whatever you call it. And that went out of style. Just like you used to wear afro. That went out of style. The big bell-bottom plaid jumpsuits. That went out of style. What's new is what's old at one time. Look at what the women are wearing now. And some of the guys. Afro.
Look at what Pharrell's wearing. You gonna get you one of them, ain't you, Robin?
Yep, you know it.
Oh, man.
He's so funny.
Look at Ezekiel Elliott. He walking around here with shirt all rolled up. He might as well put a knot in it.
Mm-hmm. Put on some lipstick.
Yeah, might as well put a knot in it, man. But see, that's the thing about it. That's how we gonna have to fix our neighborhood. And a lot of people, some people gonna disagree with me. That's cool. But did segregation help us or did it hurt us?
It destroyed us.
To the
Hold on. So you're saying that if we want to fix the issues we have with the police, we need to improve our communities, right?
You can't go outside your yard and complain about somebody else's yard when your yard looking like a garbage can. A garbage can.
Okay.
Clean your own yard first.
Okay.
Take care of yours before you talk about theirs.
So what that does is that's pride.
There you go.
Okay, that's pride. And if you making sure that your yard is manicured and clean, that's pride in your yard. Okay. What I found in black, and that's why I hate to keep saying it, but that's why I keep talking about history. That's why I do those black facts, is to instill pride in you. Okay. Because if you get pride, then you'll start feeling that you deserve better.
We ain't got 30 minutes. Hold on, y'all. I'm talking about the fix. Y'all want to give your commentary.
No, this is part of the fix.
Hold on.
This is part of the fix.
The commentary is great, but this is the thing. All right, so fixing our community, so improving our community is one way to keep the police from shooting unarmed black folk. Is fixing our community, or getting abuse from police is fixing our community. That's the first thing. So respecting each other, we have to respect each other and improve our community.
Well, we need to improve the educational level as far as knowing your rights.
Okay.
Hello.
You see what I'm saying?
He's been listening to the show.
You depend on somebody else.
Right.
Just because he has a uniform on to tell you something that you can't do or you shouldn't be doing, and you take it as the gospel. Right. Know your rights. Read.
Okay.
If you can sit there and play Fortnite for 6, 8, 7 hours, and you can be on YouTube, excuse me, for hours. You can sit there and watch all the music videos for hours. Man, go read for 45 minutes.
Right. Okay, so read. So educate yourself on your rights. Keep your neighborhoods. Clean up your neighborhood. Be respectful to other people in your neighborhood.
And the thing about it is also, you have to, as they say, see something, say something. Isn't that I run the police to tell you, if you see something, say something.
But they won't do it.
They don't say a word. Not a word.
So how can they expect you to do the same thing, right?
Well, see, that's the thing about it. They're hypocritical.
Yeah.
The police department as a whole is probably one of the largest, most hypocritical organizations there is around.
Say that again.
As a whole, the Little Rock Police Department, any police department is probably the largest hypocritical organization around. They tell you to do something, but then they won't do the same thing they expect you to do. Wait, we know who you saw breaking their house. Tell us who did.
But they won't tell.
Crickets.
Yeah.
Crickets.
So what would the police? So how does the police department address their issues?
Start disciplining their issues.
So stricter discipline is one.
Start disciplining their issues. See, this is my thing about American society. The law is too flexible. go do something, you get this. Somebody else go do the same thing you did, they get this, and it's lower than what you got. Then they say, oh, well, it's because he had a prior record and stuff like that. But my thing about it is this. If you were convicted of something 10 years ago, why in the hell are you still using this against me if I serve my time?
That's a good point.
It's gone. If you're going to continue to use it against me, then you should just say you got life.
Right, because technically that's what I got.
Excellent point.
Exactly. I never understood that. That's just like a child. He breaks a dish, you punish him, you're not still holding that against him?
No.
If you whooped him or punished him or whatever, then he comes in 3 days later and say, Daddy, can I go to the fair? Or Daddy, can I do this? Well, no, you broke that dish. But wait a minute. You whooped him.
Yeah, when I was 5, and I'm 18.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, I just never understood that. They tell you, serve your time to society. That's the biggest lie in the world, man. Who is society?
All right, I like that. So, the police need to be punished for their crimes.
Openly
punished.
Be transparent.
So, with the what role would the FOP play in that? Because the FOP's job is just basically to protect its members. They say represent, but it's basically protect their members.
Well, and this is the thing about it is this with the FOP. I was down to 17 years.
Okay.
I can tally up how much money the FOP got from me in 17 years.
You were part of the FOP? The BPOA?
Not a penny.
BPOA?
I was part of the BPOA. I never gave the FOP a penny of my money. But guess what? I got every benefit they fought for. Because they are the bargaining agency for the Little Rock Police Department. They can't exclude you.
Why doesn't the BPOA is a part of that conversation as well?
Well, that's how the city has it organized with the contract.
So that's the city board call.
Yeah,
the city board can check.
That's how the city has it orchestrated, just like with the fire department.
Right. Black firefighters are not at the table.
They are not looked at as the bargaining agency. Yeah. Exactly. Okay. But if you start bargaining with two different organizations, what happens?
But not really. If those two.
No.
So you're saying
it's like my dad always said. If you join a organization and you have multiple organizations in that organization, something ain't right. Yeah. Somebody's not happy or somebody's not being treated right. Right. That's why you have two organizations. So if everything was peaches and cream.
Because if not for that organization, you probably wouldn't have got the home.
That's true.
Yeah, but they had to file a lawsuit, man. I'm gonna tell you something really interesting. So Gilbert came on our show, man.
Which one?
Johnny.
Okay.
Johnny said
LT
said when he came in, his father was part of that group, that filed a lawsuit, said that when he came on, they had 4 officers. So just think about this. We went from 4 officers in 1984. Now we're at about 100.
No, it was way more.
He said it was only 4 officers.
84 or 74?
84. He said in 84 there was only 8 officers. 4 black officers.
Get your facts together, man.
No, he said
you
84
remember
was 4 black. Huh?
You remember the FOP?
No, not yet. Okay. I'm trying to get in.
All right.
I'm trying to get in. Can you make a phone call for me?
Yeah, keep talking like that. They'll let you in.
But he said, so they only had 4 then. He said that number increased because he said he was one of the guys who got hired because of the lawsuit that his father, I can't think of the other guys he mentioned, that they filed. Yeah, that they filed. That he got on because of that.
Mr. Anthony, Brady Anthony.
Yeah, he said.
Mr. O'Donnell.
Yeah. He said now where they are is you only get, so from 84 to 2019, man, you only got like 123 officers, man. Do you think that's significant? Considering the numbers, considering you got 370 somewhat officers.
But the thing about this, so if you had 700 black police officers, and you still had the same issues, what are the large numbers doing if you're not getting good police officers?
Right.
You see,
no, I agree.
People look at numbers.
Right.
Look at results.
But see, guys like you, man, you're not even going back. You just said you did your 17, you done.
No.
You serve your 17.
Yeah, I'm flat. I'm not on paper.
But it's guys like you we need in that, Jolly.
But see, the thing about it is this.
Even though I know they kept coming after you, man. They kept giving you grief.
And I kept standing strong.
Right.
I wasn't backing down.
So why you not going back?
I wasn't backing down. I got my own business now.
But it's good guys like
but
you.
But the thing would you rather work for somebody else or work for me?
That's true. But still, we need good officers like that.
And got a listener who made a point. Let me see what you think about this, Jolly. Most of the black officers we grew up with are clean because most of them grew up in the same neighborhood and respect our upbringing to teach our young black officers. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I mean, I can agree with some of what he's saying. Because I mean, like I said, I grew up right here in Little Rock.
And plus,
Went to school in the Little Rock Public School.
Hell to the old gold, baby.
Hell to the black.
That's right. Hell, alma mater.
No.
There we go, baby. There we go, baby.
But, and the thing about it is this. There's no gray line between right and wrong.
No gray at all.
No gray at all,
It's
man.
just either right or it's either wrong.
It's it.
Exactly.
Nah, I'm with you.
Is you on this side or you on that side?
Right.
There's no in between. But a lot of people try to walk in between. You can't keep everybody happy.
That's true.
By the way, Tupac Shakur was recently arrested in Tennessee,
Tupac.
but he's a white man.
Oh man, you get come
What the hell
on,
you
man.
talking about?
Are you serious?
According to TMZ. That's
Man, you tripping. I'm
that's
not
pop,
talking to
man.
You tripping, man. I'm done with you, man. I'm done with you.
Lived in Johnson City, boy. That's Redneckville all the way around.
I'm done with you. Tupac
That's a-
Shakur, a white man.
But you know,
you just
man,
stole this man's name.
I tell you one incident I had. I'll never forget it. I actually pulled this car over, no tags. Right there off of 12th and Jefferson, in my old neighborhood, right across from Highland Court. Well, they call it Madison High. I still call it Highland.
Still call him Court, right?
People look at me like I'm crazy. Well,
Yeah, they don't know. That's how you date them.
so I get out the car. I check out. I walk up to the car, and it's a sister in the car. It's a sister, and she had 3 kids in the back. And I said, yeah. I said, can I see your insurance registration? Proof of insurance. And she said, officer, I don't have my insurance. I said, you don't have it with you?
Or you don't have
Or
it.
you don't have it? She said, I don't have it. I said, why don't you have it? She said, I'm going through it. Now, I don't know if it was true.
It was true.
But this is what she told me. She said, I'm going through a divorce and my ex-husband, soon-to-be ex-husband, is not helping me with the kids. And I just can't afford it. When she told me that, man,
She melted you, dude. You just
man, it was
melted.
that because I was right down the street where I grew up.
Right. So you
I mean, I'm looking up the street like
right. Yeah. This
I can
rough.
see.
Yeah.
Damn, Mama came in my head,
Right.
and I said, I remember the days.
Yeah.
Mama had to make decisions.
Right.
You know. Well, hey, it's hot outside. We don't need the gas, but we need the lights.
You need
and
the lights
water.
and water, right?
You know.
Yeah.
Now it's cold outside. We need the gas and the water.
We don't always need
The
the
lights.
Candles were
You gotta
popular
make a
back
choice,
then.
man.
Yeah, man. So you know. So I told her. I said, well, hey, I'm not saying this won't happen to you. I'm not offering to stop you 3 blocks away from or whatever. I said, but I'm not writing you a citation. All I ask you is just get this as soon as you can. She said, I'm not getting it to you. I said, no. She was looking at it. I said, because I understand what you're doing. My mama did the same thing.
Right. You got it. Yeah.
And you see, the thing about it is when you police,
There's got to be some compassion.
exactly, brother.
Yeah.
When you police with compassion, even though they know you have to do your job, and you treat them with respect.
Right.
Man, this cat said I wouldn't even put handcuffs on. I'll take him to jail. I tell him, hey, look, give me your words of man. You're not gonna act the fool. I won't even put the handcuffs on. All right, officer, I'll give you my word. I said, man, you cool.
Just get in the car, sit down. and
I had 2 tapes in the car. That's how I'm going. I had 2 tapes. I had an old school tape, and I had a tape with like Tupac on it. I had
Right.
Al Green, Teddy Pendergrass.
Which one you want to listen
I
to?
said, what you want to listen to, man? I got 2 tapes. He said, what you got on it? I said, I got one with some Tupac. I said, I got some with some Al Green. He said, oh, man, give me that Al Green. And we roll over to the counter. Get out. Book him in there and tell him, man. He said, I appreciate you treating me the way you treated me, man. I said, every man still should have dignity no matter
Yeah.
what you've done.
It makes all the difference in the world.
Most definitely, man.
You know, and again, that goes back that goes back to what we've been saying this whole show. It's about how you treat people. It's morals. Morals is how you treat people.
Damn,
You
I
know.
keep hearing y'all say that, man. But again, can't fix morals. So you just go through and fire everybody who's morally corrupt. And how do you know? You don't know they're morally corrupt till they do something screwed up.
But you're right.
But let me ask you this.
But
Hold
let me
on.
finish.
Okay.
But you said you don't know they're morally corrupt until they do something.
Right.
At that point, they need to get their ass gone.
Okay, but hold on.
At that point.
I got a question. All right, knowing how you roll, bro. Has there ever been a time that something happened that was screwed up, right? But it looked horrible. But it really wasn't like it looked. You know how people say, well, you know how these officers things happen, right? Let's say you arrested somebody and it was, I don't know, you had some kind of confrontation with it that was avoidable. You ever had a situation like that?
I tell you,
where you try to de-escalate and they just kept escalating?
Man, I tell you.
You had to get in. You didn't want to, but you had to.
It was one time, I had two stories about that. One time, we were down here off of, right there by the old job corps.
Yeah.
And it was this one guy, me and him, we went to the academy together. I used to go over to his apartment, we would study together, shoot basketball. Dude was real cool, man. And so we used to work together.
Okay.
And this one day, man, we got this guy in the car, and I went off. I went off. Oh, I was yelling at him, cussing, went off. And the guy didn't say anything to him. The officer didn't say anything to him. And let the guy go. And the guy said, hey, it's a jolly man. He said, okay. Oh, yeah, what's up? I said, man, I ain't never seen you act like that, man. I ain't never seen you talk to somebody like that. He said, you sure be okay? I said, yeah, man, I'm fine. He said, man, I've never seen that job. Just like that, man. And I got in the car and I drove off. And I went right to the door. See, I always been taught, stand up for what you believe in.
Right.
And if it turned out to be wrong, don't be too big to apologize. Man, and I sat there in the car and said, man, you know, I was wrong. I was wrong.
Right.
You know.
So what made you do that, though? I mean, was there something going on? You just had a bad day?
You know, it was one of those deals, man, where, you know, sometimes you just get to the point and you be like, man, why did I do that? So, I actually wrote the report up and stuff like that, man. And the next day I came back to work. I drove down by the street where the guy lived. And he was so happy to be sitting on the porch. And I get out the police car. And I walk up and he looking at me like, oh man, what's going on? You know what I'm saying?
Great.
So I said, hey man, come here, bro. He's like, yeah, what's up? I said, look man, I want to apologize. I was wrong for yesterday. And I stuck my hand out. And he was like, it's cool, Officer Jolly. He said, because you know, you've always been real with us.
Right.
You've always been straight with us. He said, man, I ain't know what was going on. And I said, no, man, I just had a bad day. I apologize to you. I'm sorry. And he said, okay, it's cool. Shook hands, that was it. Never had no more problems with him, man, ever.
So but that one moment, what was into you, that one moment? Was it just...
I can't sit here and say what it was.
Right.
Because I can't remember what it was. But it was probably something minor.
So you think it could have escalated into something else that could have turned into something really bad just because of the headspace you were in that day?
It could have been. It could have been.
Okay.
Say if he would have came back at me.
Okay.
So a lot of times it's not as serious as you portray it.
Right.
So but then when I went and apologized to him,
Squashed it.
Man. And I still see this one cat today that I used to deal with. I used to go around when they make traffic stops. I used to drive by, make sure everything was okay.
Yeah.
I was like the police, and the police.
Okay.
It's called me PPP.
Right.
Yeah. I'm police, the police as police. So, two officers stop this guy. They end up taking his impounding his car and will make him walk from right there where QT is. Right there at QT. He lived in the East End. You know, 21st Street. So you already know what affiliation he had.
What?
They made him walk, man.
They knew what they were doing, right?
Made him walk, man. Anybody would have been charged with a murder, attempted murder. Right here at 16th and Park.
Are you serious?
And they impounded his car.
It made him walk to the East End.
Made him walk.
Made him walk all the way. Every last one.
Because he was a blood. Never was over in the crib.
In the crib area, yeah.
So I actually drove by, see who was checking to make sure everything's going good. And he was making him walk. I'm like, I stopped. I said, hey man, come here. He's like, what's up, man? I said, what's going on? He's like, man, they done told my car, man. I asked him to give me a ride home. They told me I could walk. He said, man, I ain't gonna make it. He said, man, you see what I have on? And he said, I can't walk through here like that. I said, man, get in the car, man. And he got in the car. And I got on there, hey, young 54, show me 1019, 1012, in the mile, with so-and-so, to 21st and brag or wherever it was.
Right.
And we drove, but I made it a point when we left to drive right by those two officers.
To let him see.
So let them see. I want you to see.
Were they white?
Yeah, but it make no difference if they were white, blue, or green. What they did was wrong.
Yeah, right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if they would have been black, would it have been easy?
Nah, they've been black. Somebody should have beat them down.
But so you're saying the white officers don't get a
Nah,
beat
I
down?
ain't saying they get a pass either. But I'm saying
You just said that.
Well, I'm just saying, brothers. I mean, you knew the neighborhood.
Right.
Every other brother knew the neighborhood, right? Now I know these guys know the same. They know the same. They get the same information everybody else got, if not better.
Yeah.
Why would they do that? I mean, it's like they want him to die.
Of
Say what
course.
now?
They want him to die.
Of course.
There you go, man.
That's exactly what
That
it
was
was.
murder.
There you go, man.
That was murder.
That was
They never got charged for it.
Right.
It never happened to him.
And I gave him a ride. And I still see him. I still see him occasionally, man. And he always come up to me, oh, Jelly, what's going on, man? You know? But it's just stuff like that, just little bitty stuff.
And see, when you foster that type of attitude, so when something breaks in the hood, that's the type of guy who will come up to you and say, hey, man, here's what happened.
Exactly.
You see?
Exactly.
But again, it goes back, and that's why this thing about residency is so important to me, is that if you really want to create an atmosphere where people trust you, you got to live with them.
Listen, the last question I got. I got to get this one.
Wait, good question now on the residency. When I came in 94, they had a residency policy. If you accepted employment with the Little Rock Police Department, you had to live within the city limits of Little Rock. If you didn't, you had to move in a certain amount of time.
Right, right.
In my class, we had this one female who was there. She lived in Jacksonville, I believe.
Okay.
Her husband was already a police officer in Little Rock. It didn't affect him. So she was able to live in Jacksonville.
Because she got grandfathered in.
Made total sense to me.
Right, she got grandfathered in.
Made total sense to me because her husband was already
there. Right.
Exactly.
So she got grandfathered in.
Yeah, so she came in like that. And then they did away with it.
Yeah, they said they couldn't find qualified applicants. That's what they said.
But see, now this is the thing about it. I'm going to say this real quick. You look at the application process, and they were disqualifying more than qualified applicants because of something their brother did, cousin.
They was asking guys, you got known gang affiliations.
There you go.
Yeah, you black, you grew up in the hood.
But
How
I'll
you
tell
gonna
you
know?
what. But you hired a man who was in that Ku Klux Klan meeting.
Now who was that man, by the way?
What? Who?
Who's that man?
Which one?
The one who was
Hastings?
Ku Klux. Yeah.
Yeah, Josh Hastings.
Now let me tell you what Jolly did.
Oh,
they
here you
had
go.
a crowd. They had a
What? But that's the largest terrorist organization there is. in America.
we had a meeting on 12th Street, crime in the community. I can't remember what it was. Director Richardson called a meeting. And Jolly stood in the back of the room. He wanted to make sure everybody heard him. He was like, how you let a man go to the Ku Klux Klan meeting and get on the police department? Didn't nobody answer it though, but didn't nobody know about it. I don't think anybody knew about it at the time. It was a select few of us who knew about it. But I don't think overall a lot of people knew about that.
But the thing about it is, just because someone didn't know doesn't make it right.
Right, I agree.
And if you're not publicizing, then something must be wrong with it.
Yeah, but I wonder how many other cats went to Ku Klux Klan meetings.
Well, how many Ku Klux Klans on the force?
Or still on the force
There
right
you
now.
go.
You might have a ton of them now.
There you go.
Well, you think about, if you go and you look at some of the addresses of where these officers are coming from, places like Russellville, Lono, Cabot. I mean, those are high concentrated areas in Arkansas for the KKK. I'm not saying that. That was published by the ACLU. It gave you a concentration. Look, as I said earlier in the year, you've got over 8,000 avowed white supremacists making their homes in the state of Arkansas. That's 8,000 that they know about. So what that means is that there's probably about 10 to 12,000 of them or more. So you got to believe that some of those guys are infiltrating the Little Rock Police Department. It's happening all over the country, in other parts of the country. Why wouldn't it be happening in a state that is known for its racism and bigotry? Of course it's happening.
Yeah.
Of course it's happening.
I think we're gonna try to bring on, man, the president of FOP and the vice president. You know Ronnie Morgan and Templeton. I can't think of Templeton's last name.
Templeton.
Yeah. Templeton, I think it is.
Templeton?
Yeah, he's the vice president. I think it's Templeton. Templeton.
Littleton?
Who?
Littleton?
No, I think it's Templeton. He might be new. Because you've been gone how long now?
So
You been gone that long?
like 9 years. August.
Really?
Yeah, August been 9 years.
Really? I thought you just left like in 14 to 15.
No, he spoke loud. It's still, my voice still echoing.
You still giving it.
Yeah, man.
855-525-5683. We just got a few more minutes to go in the show. I want to go back to something you were saying about education and knowing the laws. And I've talked about this on the show as well. I have a book list that I typically give out to people, and it's not in any chronological order or anything like that. But in this particular case, the first item on my book list is the United States Constitution. And what you said is profound. And this is what I wrote, the synopsis of why this is on this book list. Because a lot of my black friends said, man, I ain't reading that. Why I got to read that? That ain't nothing but about the white man's law. Da-da-da-da-da. Here's what I said. Every American citizen should read and understand the document by which you are governed. Many of the African American problems stem from not knowing the basic tenets of this document, and thus we are not able to utilize it for our benefit. And I thought about that when you said that, and this is what I'm trying to get people to understand about educating yourselves. Because if you educate yourself, then other people will not be able to manipulate you. And you've got to understand, even though this document wasn't written for us,
right,
we need to know the laws. We need to understand what the laws are. Because those little black kids, and when you see us, had they known that, hey, I'm not saying anything, I want to talk to my mama and I want to lawyer you, they'd have never went through that. Now, I'm not blaming them.
Right.
I'm just
simply... Even the ones that did that, they still, I mean, what they did with the young boy's father, I mean, that kind of manipulation.
Right.
I mean,
I agree.
They were hell-bent on making those guys be the suspects.
I agree. But the point being is that the more of us who know the law, who understand the law, the less likely we are to be victims of police abuse and brutality. That's all I'm saying. Is that if I'll give you an example. This had to be a month ago. Police rode up to this bus stop in Philadelphia and grabbed this young black kid who had his shirt off. You know, if you've ever been on the East Coast when it's hot, because all that concrete, dude, it gets hot. So they were standing there waiting on the bus. The young brother, who was a classmate of all the others that was on the bus stop, had his shirt off. Police rode up on him, grabbed him, threw him in the vehicle. And when they let him out, they were laughing at him, saying, tell your friends that you were in there shaking. But the two young ladies, same age as the young brother, they were trying to get him to leave. Those young sisters, they couldn't have been no more than 15, 16 years old. You could hear in their voices, we're not going anywhere until you let him out of that car. We know our rights. You can't film us. Yes, we can film you. You see, and it wasn't until, and then they said, well, you need to get from, this is the bus stop. We catch the bus stop here. We ain't going nowhere. Eventually, they let that boy out of that car. Those were young people who understood the law. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So what we've got to start doing, we educate our children on everything else except the law. That's why it amazed me when 13 came out and you had so many black people saying, I never knew that about the 13th Amendment. Well, you should have, because that all it did was institute slavery in America by passing loitering laws and things of that nature. So what you said is profound. Here's a former law officer telling us that you need, just like you teach letting them play PlayStation and all that other stuff, you need to sit down and read the Constitution to them. And if they don't understand what it is, we got plenty of lawyer friends who can explain that to you. Or go out on Google and do it.
Let's try to get this question real quick. One question, one listener said, are they hiring less qualified applicants? Would that be the reason for all the scary, trigger-happy cops?
I'm not saying they hiring less qualified applicants. The thing about it is this. Sometimes you hire good applicants. Right. But in the process, they lose themselves. Let me reiterate that. You hire good applicants. Okay. And then in the process, they lose themselves. Police department is no organization or no place for somebody that's weak. And what I mean by that is, people want to gravitate to certain groups. Right. Nobody wants to be that guy that say, hey man, don't deal with Robert. Robert, hey man, Robert's not a good officer. A lot of people are not independent like I am.
They're not.
They want to be part of the crowd.
There you go.
Yeah.
As I always told them, I ain't come down here to make friends. I had friends before I came here. Right. They're going to be my friends. You're not coming over to my house to drink beer with me. You're not coming to my house to eat dinner with me and my family. Right. You are a work associate. Right. Don't get it confused.
There you go.
And that's coming all the time.
See, Robert, that's why I will never go out with you.
Right, you have to always pay. Robert go to the pay.
Oh, is that what it is? I'm glad I ain't never went out with him. It was, man, what you doing this weekend? Oh man, I'll make up some. Oh man, I gotta go change the oil in my Model T. I'm just kidding, Robert. Don't take it personal.
I ain't thinking about y'all.
No, Robert's good people. Hey man, look, we gotta run, man. I mean, this has been a great show.
Hey man, we gotta get you back on. We gotta get you back on.
You know, so
we gotta get you back on.
You know, anytime you want to come on, you're more than welcome. In fact, I'll be totally honest with you. I'm looking for a co-host. Talk to me about it. Okay, I got you. I know how to holler at you. What? Hey Rob, what's up, man?
That's why I can't deal with both of y'all, man. I'm up in here crying, man.
But good stuff, and you know, and it's good to hear that we have some, and we had some good officers there. And although we know you're no longer there, but hey, we both, all of us in this room understand that dream of being an entrepreneur.
I got one quick question, man. One last one. And we always see these guys talking about they don't want to live in Little Rock in fear of retaliation. Hit on that real quick before we get up out of here.
Well, if you treat everybody with respect, you don't have to worry about retaliation.
There you go.
When I was on the force, when I got out for work, I dropped my gun belt on the floor.
So you never
carried a backup gun on duty. I never carried my gun off of duty, except for the first 2 months when I first got it.
Cause you was a cowboy, man.
But after that, man, I never carried it, and I would go to the clubs, and I would sit and drink with people I arrested. They buying me drinks. Now, when does that happen when you mistreating somebody?
That's true. So that's just a bunch of BS what they talking about being fearful of their lives.
But if you fear for your life, the hospital is hiring. Go get a job.
There you go. That's what I'm saying. I've been saying, man, we got to get him back in.
Yeah. If you feel you knew what you was getting in before you got into it. Go to the hospital. They hire.
That's an excuse. All right, man. We got to get out of here. Hey, man. Okay, with Jolly. Thanks for joining in. Enjoyed it, no doubt about it. Robert, of course, good stuff as always. I'm proud that you're doing work and inviting guests now. I mean.
Oh, you trying to crack? You throwing shade on the side. Oh, I'm glad you're doing some work.
What? Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to give a black man a compliment. See, that's what I'm saying. Black men can't take a compliment.
Hey, too bad you're in the car now, because you could answer this. It's about to be some furniture moving up in here. Soon as we sign off.
Hey, good stuff as always. Appreciate y'all joining us today as well. Of course, we'll be back tomorrow. No telling what we'll have on the agenda. I did talk to Cliff over the weekend. He'll be in sometime this week as well. Cliff, come Friday. Come Friday, Cliff.
Bring your fish.
Exactly. But we got to go. Good stuff as always, man. And thanks a lot. This is Black Focus Radio. We usually give a quote at the end of the show, so you're more than welcome to do that as well. So if you've got one, go for it.
Know who you are and be who you are. Simple as that.
Oh, man. Deep. That brother's deep right there. That's on me, right?
Who else is it on?
Spend money on community. If you don't, nobody else will. Peace.
I'm going to leave with Dr. Jawanza Kunjufu.
Oh, that's my boy.
And let him just say what he says and what he mean what he says. Thanks for listening to the show. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Conspiracy to destroy young men.
You got two going.
All right, guys. Good show.
I like that, man.
Yeah, everybody loved that, Jolly. They loved it, man.
Good show.